My brothers and sisters, children of the day and children of the light, as the Apostle Paul calls us in 1 Thessalonians 5, or the Holy Spirit through the Apostle Paul. I want to have a quick chat with you today about when you make decisions in life. Do you ever reflect on the fact that what is your motivation for doing it? And here's a bit of my pastoral counselor mind thought that's coming through. What's your motivation for making the decision? 2, do you have your priorities right as reference framework for your decision? And thirdly, do you ever consider the consequences or the result of your decision? Let me give 2 very simple, on the top of my head examples. One, there's a little child, you're looking after your neighbor's child, and the child wants to cut out pictures out of a magazine, and you give them a pair of scissors. Did you actually think of the results? Your motivation is probably just to be kind to the child, but have you actually thought about the results? He's going to end up hurting himself and cutting himself, if not poking out his eye. So, keep these 3 concepts always in consideration. Another example is you drive down the street and at the stop there's somebody begging for money. You might be motivated to be kind and to be loving. Your priority system might be right in the sense that priority 1 or 2 is being a good Christian and being loving and kind. But again, next to this gentleman standing there begging is an empty bottle of liquor. So if you give him 5 or 10 rand or $10 or 10 whatever, depending on which country you live in, do you think of the result of your decision? Because he's going to use that money for his next bottle of liquor. Nothing more. You're actually not helping him. You're enabling him to continue in his abuse. It's actually not a good deed. It's a bad deed. And I think especially when it comes to spirituality. And the following, I say, I'm not trying to be rude or step on toes or be insensitive, but really I find a lot of Christians, and yes, do things just for virtue signaling. And for those of you who don't know what virtue signaling is, just people that do things so they can show people around them how wonderful and how good and how special they are. And I sadly have to say, I think a lot of Christians do good, in inverted commas, just to virtue signal. Or maybe just for that rush. We all know that if we do something good, we have like a euphoric feeling afterwards. I think the right chemicals are secreted in our minds to make us feel good about ourselves or have a bit of an emotional high when we do good to others. And I think a lot of Christians are, and I'm speaking of Christians, these teachings are not for the world, it's for Christians. I think people often do good things because of the way that makes them feel, or because they virtue signal to the world or the rest of the church how special they are, without taking these 3 things in consideration. 1, what is your motivation? And you as a Christian, your motivation should always be Christ and his kingdom. That should always be your motivation, promoting Christ and his kingdom. And if that is not on your priority list, and number 1 and 2 and 3 at least, there's a problem, and it's time for you to do introspection and reflect on your decision making. 2, what is your motivation or your priorities in life? Is priority number 1 spirituality of other people and saving souls, or is it just about, like I said, showing everybody how big your halo are? I'm sorry, I don't want to step on toes, but if you do good deeds, in inverted commas, and it's not for the right priorities to save souls and other people's salvation, it has no value. Let me be the one that tells you it has no eternal value. And thirdly, do you ever think of the results? Let me give you again a simple example. You're now a minister of a church and you're just trying to be good, and here comes a man who's an atheist and he wants to start an atheist club. I'm giving a silly example, but it illustrates the point. And you say, you know what, you can use one of the rooms in the church to start your atheist club. Do you ever think that atheist club might rob some of your church members of their salvation when it makes them doubt their faith? Please, you as a Christian listening to this, Don't do deeds, especially good deeds, in inverted commas, just to virtue signal, get other people's approval, or to feel good. Ask the Holy Spirit who lives in you in prayer to help you to have godly motivation, have the priority of building out the kingdom of Christ and saving souls, and the result of your deeds and your actions must be to bless other people in their spirituality and their spiritual growth. Really ask the Holy Spirit and do some introspection on these three things in your life. Please go to my website, glitterforchrist.co.za, or just to social media, YouTube, type in my name, Heinrich Lottring, and many other videos to watch. Please become a subscriber. I put on videos weekly. It's my true benediction for you that the one true living God will richly bless you.